Hello, Kultuneros. Welcome back to Atleti Fanatics, and we are back with another episode. And this is our first review of the game against Malaga, and again our first game in La Liga as well for the 2026-2027 season. And what a game! What a game! I mean, like whoever joined us on the live watch along as well, they saw our reactions, obviously. But what a game, guys! I think this is the best like season opener games I've seen in, I would say, at least 5-6 years. I can't, because again last season Espanyol didn't go to plan. We lost 2-1. Even though like we were playing really good, but again, yeah, it didn't go to plan. We lost 2-1. Before that, it was a 2-2 against Villarreal. Before that, I can't really remember before that, to be honest. I think because again it probably wasn't that good. That's why I can't remember it. And before that, again, I can't. I remember, I think that season opener, I remember the away game against Celta Vigo where Angel Correa scored a screamer of a goal. I don't know if you guys remember that. I remember that game. That was the season after we won the La Liga, obviously. But when I talk about like, huh?
21-22 season.
Yeah. But when I talk about like having a very good season opener game, if you guys remember, like when we won the La Liga, the 2020-21 game where Luis Suarez made his debut, like that was a very good game. Like like everything was working out. There were good vibes, and we went on to win the league as well. So again, Espanyol game again last season gave me that kind of feeling, but again it didn't end up being that. But today's game was perfect. Even though I would say like the first, like we were struggling to have, unlocking the defense. We were struggling to unlock the defense of Malaga, but still, I mean, the substitutions, they worked really well, and finally we have the 3 points, and great debut from Kang-in Lee, obviously. Again, just before we start, guys, just like and subscribe. And again, guys, I mean, Kang-in Lee, what a debut from Kang-in Lee. And also, he's the third youngest foreigner player in Atleti history to score. He's the third youngest player. But anyway, as I was saying, great game. Jorge Dominguez made his debut. Danny Martinez played a fantastic game. Kang-in Lee, obviously, Hudman has had his debut as well. And I think Keeks will join us shortly. But yeah, Kang-in Lee had a fantastic debut. But Ryan, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think Keeks is having some technical difficulties. But yeah, I think just thinking back to that, first of all, that opener against Granada, it was in the league-winning season. I'm looking at it now, 6-1. Suarez scored 2 goals. Llorente, João Felix somehow scored a goal. Diego Costa scored a goal, and then Correa as well. But to your point, that's kind of the last time I've left an opener feeling like, man, I like where we're at right now. I like where the vibes are at. And we did all that without a good bit of the core group playing significant minutes. It was good to see players come on in the second half, like Kangin Lee and Baena were clearly difference makers. Llorente was a difference maker, and Baena and Kangin Lee are going to get the headlines, but I mean Pablo Barrios was the best player on the field tonight, and seeing him back and hopefully, knock on wood, fully healthy is a blessing to see. And it's in rebounding from last year's opener against Espanyol, where vibes could not be lower and negativity couldn't be higher. This is just a nice welcome surprise going into the weekend.
That's true. Keeks, your thoughts on the game?
I was a little surprised by the 11, to be honest with you. I know most of the players aren't fully fit, and obviously, but it was a surprise more so because I didn't expect Simeone to trust so many of the youngsters in this kind of game. He was rewarded for his trust. I think Ortiz had a great debut game. We saw good minutes from Danny Martinez. We saw good minutes from Jorge Dominguez. Mendoza has shown to be justified in the confidence that he was given from Simeone in this game, even though I think his preseason went from less to more in that sense. So he's built on from the preseason as well. I liked what I saw, although I wasn't surprised that we didn't score any first half. I think there are certain things. Oh, let me talk about the actual half itself. But it was a good game. I think there's more to build off of it, and when you start off with a good result, we can kind of build momentum into a positive area going forward as well. And I think that's what I like the most about it. Started off the best possible foot. Clean sheet, 2-0, great goals. I can't ask for more.
Yeah, honestly, the ideal way to open a season. You can't ask for much more.
Exactly, and especially
And
like
you
like
mentioned,
since we didn't have a lot of
sorry.
players available as well. Yeah, go on, go on. Sorry, I was just adding
Just
to what you.
yeah, just Dominguez. I think was lucky to not be sent off though. Tonight was my one takeaway from the youngsters. That was tough right there at the end of the first half. This would have been a soft, but yeah, I think there was shouts for it. But really impressed with Danny Martinez as well. I think Arnau looked pretty good as well. So yeah, youngsters look good. 2-0 clean sheet. Can't ask for much more.
True, Kang-in Lee with the man of the match as well. And again, like it's something is trending on my timeline right now. That guy with all of that. I don't know if someone can do that dance. So yeah, Ryan, can you try?
Yeah, a little.
Interesting, but anyway, guys, we'll start with the lineup, which again, we discussed about this in the preview as well. It was almost similar, except Grimaldo. We had Dani Martinez coming in for Grimaldo, and again, Dani Martinez, I would say he didn't really have that good of a preseason because again, we were there for a few matches. Again, we saw him against Man United, and he wasn't that good. Man City, Semenyo killed him in that match against, and then we played Marseille. I can't Marseille at Marseille. Grimaldo played the match, the first half for sure. But Dani Martinez, what a way! I mean, when it matters the most, he showed up, and that's very good. Like the confidence he showed as well. But so this was the lineup for today's match. Again, Oblak, as usual. Martin, Jorge Dominguez, again the youngest player by the way. Again ahead of Fernando Torres and Koke as well. Roblin Nomand, David Hansko, Dani Martinez, Rodrigo Mendoza, Barrios, Koke, Arna Ortiz, and Lukman. I mean, we were discussing this, me and Keeks, when we were when we were doing the live watch along. Obviously, if now Martinez, Arna Ortiz should have been, playing as a striker instead of Lukman, and Lukman should be playing as a left wing, which that was interesting take, and I definitely agree because Lukman as a striker didn't really work today at all. Even though he had some good link up play, his hold up play with the ball was good. Not gonna lie, that was good, but there were many moves where we just didn't really have anyone in the box because the only player who was in the box at that time was Rodrigo Mendoza, and for example I remember one of the moves now Ortiz played again he cut inside, he was going inside, and he almost gave the pass to Rodrigo Mendoza with his back heel. For me, that would have been assist of the season already on the first match day. Almost went to Rodrigo Mendoza, but even in that play, you see, Lukman is not in the middle, so as a striker, Lukman didn't really work out. But when he shifted to the left hand side, he was good. But again, for me, I think Lukman didn't really have one of his days, which is totally fine. Again, it's just the season opener, nothing else. But I did see Lukman taking charge, the leading charge, leading to the press. He was the first player. He was leading the press and taking everyone with him. So that's some good signs I saw from Lukman. But guys, what are your thoughts on the lineup? I'll start with Ryan.
Yeah, kind of like you said, Alex. You can't fault Lookman for his performance today. That's just not his role or position with the team. But what can you do right now when Sorlot is unfortunately hurt? Can't believe I'm saying that. And then Julian is not quite fit, or maybe shouldn't be thrusted into the lineup at home yet. But I don't know. Maybe I don't see things changing in that regard much looking towards the weekend. I highly doubt Alvarez will start. He might feature, but I think maybe you swap. I think maybe you put Ortiz at the top and do Lookman on left wing. Certainly don't think you could put Mendoza in that position where Lookman is. And I mean, yeah, you can even see it right there. Like he was, if he was in the box, he was just on the left hand side there. So not where he's comfortable, but again, can't fault him for that. You know, outside of that, I was kind of disappointed in Carlos Martin, his performance today. He made me eat my words when I was last on with you guys a few days ago about praising him. So appreciate that. And really was impressed with David Hansko today. He
Yeah,
played
I
a
mean,
hell of a game.
amazing game from David Hansko for sure.
Yeah,
Amazing game.
96% pass accuracy. Wasn't dribbled past a single time. 5 out of 6 ground duels won. 2 out of 2 aerial duels won.
The one mistake he did was because he slipped and made a challenge on him, got a yellow card, and then made no mistakes after that.
Right. But I mean, yeah, it's
I mean, just
and
look at the
it's
heat
it's
map. I
unfortunate.
mean, that's our center back. Look at the heat map.
Yeah, crazy. And it's unfortunate because I know a lot of people, a lot of Atletico fans this offseason were, criticizing Hodgko. And, prior to the ankle injury towards the end of the season, I mean, him and Pubil were unstoppable as a back line. I just, that the love needs to be as loud as the hate. And I'm here to love on David Hodgko after his performance today.
True. And you can clearly see the highlights as well. To the joint most shots, 3. I think 1 hit the crossbar. Again, he took 1 more shot where I think he was being pushed here and there, where he was complaining. Again, that was from a corner as well. The 3rd shot, I can't really... Oh, yeah, I remember. Like, he went forward in the first half. And again, had the most touches as well, 112. Great. So you guys can see, like, he was very, very comfortable on the ball. And, yeah, this is... You were talking about 96% of accurate passes, 91, 95. I mean, perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. And then last shout out, I mean, Oblak wasn't cast into action much, but when he did, he played very, very well. He had those 2 back-to-back stops midway through the first half, I believe, and yeah, just prime Jan Oblak as usual.
True, and you guys accurate long balls. One of the long balls, it was to Kang-in Lee, which resulted in a goal. So that was great. I mean, just look at the defensive contribution as well, and 0 times dribble past. Great stuff by David Hansko. Aerial duels 2 out of 2, ground duels 5 out of 6. Great. I think it was just that the yellow card, kind of like I think it would have been even much better performance without the yellow card. And I was just checking. I wanted to check one thing actually. I saw this. So yeah, touches in opposition box. Lookman had 4, and I just checked it. Hansko had 5. So again, that's what you can say. Like, this is where we were lacking in the first half. And again, I'm not blaming Lookman over here at all, because I think again it'll take time for Lookman to adjust if we keep playing in this position. So again, like all in due time, obviously. And another guy, Anaortes, I think like he had a very, very good game as well. I think obviously like the headlines are gonna go for Kang-in Lee and Álex Baena, mostly for Kang-in Lee. But again, one of the highlights, you guys created the most chances. He created 3 chances today. That's great. I mean, great debut from Anaortes. I mean, he is repaying the trust which the club showed, in him, and that's really, really good. And if again everything is very, very good, accurate crosses 3 out of 3. That's good. I was like on his left hand side, like he was crossing from his left foot, and they were very, very good. Like, if we had like a proper number 9, I think most probably like those crosses may end up in a goal as well. So great stuff from Arnautis as well. I really liked what he did. I mean, even Nico Gonzalez couldn't do that kind of stuff, and that was great. But Keeks, anything you want to add to this? To this lineup, we're going to talk about the subs, obviously.
Nico Gonzalez couldn't do this. Like, what does that mean? Like, what level is Nico Gonzalez? Does that mean? But I mean, I think the problem for me in the first half was, I think the midfield, while good, was not necessarily a combination I would say on paper makes a whole lot of sense, because they can all kind of do the same things, right? They're not necessarily, the roles that they have are not the same. They're doing very different things, but I could shuffle them around, and you could see a different version of this, in the sense of they're kind of more midfielders. All three of them are kind of like traditionally eights. So it can work, it can also not work, and I feel like what I saw from Mendoza today was very, very, what do you call it, encouraging. I like to see in terms of the movement off the ball was very good. In terms of the offensive aspect, his passing, his understanding where to be, making sure that he's keeping control of the ball, keeping things neat and tidy. That's more than I can ask for most midfielders. And so I'm happy about that. Koke had some moments which were fantastic, but you could see what I was kind of complaining about through the life, which was there was space in the middle. Space that you don't really get when you say you put Johnny and a Baena alongside Barrios, or Julian and I want to say Lamar, but Lamar's going to be disappeared by the end of this window. But you know what I mean. The point is not enough to be good in one area of the pitch. It's you have to be good across the board. This is in midfield. This is an area where Atletico is, I think, this is an area where we can't fall short, right? Compared to Real Madrid and Barcelona, we have to be good enough. We have to be great across the board. If you give teams like Malaga a chance, they'll try and go for it. I think we got away a little bit in this game because of the fact that Nino got injured. Nino is somebody who usually can take those snapshots that Chupe can't really, in terms of his movements, in terms of these other things, and a little bit of good luck in that and good fortune in that sense for today. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to see him personally, but happy because we got the clean sheet. On the other side, though, I think I have a little confusion in terms of what Simeone views some of these players in terms of their actual profile and roles. Because Dominguez, while good at right back today, I question why he plays right back. Because this is a centre back. This is a fantastic centre back prospect. What's the right back situation about? And we didn't even play the 3-man centre back where Carlos Martinez may be a wing back and these other things that we're seeing from this formation. This is a 4-3 by all stretches of the imagination. So yeah, it can be better. It will be better as the season goes on, and I think Simeone knows that as well. Very happy about Danny Martinez. Very happy about Dominguez. Very happy on Ortiz. I would like to see more from Carlos Martin. Lunamon doesn't strike me with a lot of confidence, but I don't have time to talk about Lunamon today. So we'll see what we can do with Lookman coming into these other games and all these other stuff.
I think Lenormand's rating on here of a 7.5 is a little generous.
Stats is stats. In terms of stats, he was fine. In terms of what I saw, I didn't feel safe. You know what I mean? I don't feel as safe as the Pubil or Jimenez or
he was getting bodied by Chupe like almost every time down the pitch,
and that's
shouldering him into crazy.
So I wasn't worried about Chupe, but the fact that you can kind of muscle out Lenormand gives you an area of weakness that I don't particularly appreciate, but that should potentially disappear come the season going on, hopefully. We'll see.
Right, but anyway, guys, I would say, again, at the start of the episode where Ryan said about Pablo Barrios as well, I just want to check his heat map, and amazing. I mean, you can see like how we are a different team with Barrios. It's just amazing. Like the dribbles he have in the middle of the pitch, the recoveries he makes in the middle of the pitch, it's just amazing. We have one of a gem of a player with us, and hopefully he can stay with us for very long. Our proper Koke replacement, I would say. And great stuff from Pablo Barrios as well. Coming back from injury and again back in La Liga, the first game, great stuff. He created that one chance, obviously, which was to Rodrigo Mendoza, which he should have scored for me, but it's okay. And again, great passing as well. Defensive contribution, obviously, and just perfect. I really like Pablo Barrios as well, and I hope, like Ryan said, I hope we can see it in a very, very long period as well until March, April. Maybe more than that. And another one I really want to say is Rodrigo Mendoza. I think if you ignore that game against Man United in the preseason, I think Rodrigo Mendoza, you can clearly see like he was working hard, you know, before coming for the preseason. Because again, Rodrigo Mendoza for me played a really fantastic game. He looked really fit as well, and again he ran a lot. I don't know how much kilometers he covered, but again his highlight was he took the joint most shots, 3, and it was great. Like I said, sometimes he was the one up front, instead of Lukman. So again, that was great from Rodrigo Mendoza, I would say. And I don't really have any complaints about Rodrigo Mendoza today. For me, he was really, really good. And next, I want to say is now Ortiz, which we just discussed. Dani Martinez, again, great. I didn't expect this kind of game from Dani Martinez. Again, guys, I'll ask the question this next after I'm done with this. Dominguez not had one of his best days, but it's okay. He's just a 16-year-old kid. He was still decent, I would say. Not that bad. I think maybe after the yellow card, maybe he slowed down a little bit, because you don't want to make too many mistakes. And you're 16 years old. I can't expect much from you. You're already under a lot of pressure. You're playing in front of 70,000 fans. So it's totally fine. I'm happy with Jorge Dominguez. Carlos Martin, I mean, I don't really want to talk about it. I think he'll be gone anyway. So there's no point for me to talk about it. But guys, again, my question is very simple. After the performance of Dani Martinez today, should we go for Salinas? Yes or no?
I'm personally biased, right? Like I like Danny Martinez more, shock and all, and I would have preferred Julio Diaz to stay, but I think right now you could see the main weakness that we had in the first and to a lesser extent the second half is we don't have a forward, right? Julian Alvarez, when he catches himself, will still be Julian Alvarez. But we need somebody who, when you pass the ball to him, when you make those crosses, Danny Martinez had great crossing. Carlos Martin had a few great crosses himself. But there was nobody there. And I need somebody to be able to be in those moments in a Champions League game, in a LaLiga game. A game, let's say we're playing against Levante in like January or something. I can't remember what the scheduling is. This is the kind of forward that you get a little bit, a goal or something just to get you across the line, and that stacks up. Every small moment that you have, it stacks up at the end of the season. So that's what it matters to me. I don't think we need Salinas. Whether or not we will get him is up to Alemany and Simeone, but I think you focus on a forward. I think that should be. I think you get a forward, a 9, a really good tall 9 who can do all the things that I hope that a classic big centre forward can do. You finish this window as a 9, maybe even a 10 out of 10 window to me. This has been a great window outside of that one key area.
Ryan?
It ultimately depends on kind of where the club's at with budget at this point. I know that there's this notion that, Apollo comes in and all of a sudden the funds are unlimited, but, I feel like, and Alan kind of alluded to it during the pregame, is that there's only so many more additions that they can make, barring a stunning Alvarez departure. So, if the rumors are true that Salinas' release clause is only 16 million euros, something like that, I think that's a risk you can take, right? Because best case, he becomes one of the best left backs in La Liga, or close to it. Worst case, you sell him for a 5 million, 10 million euro loss. So I think I'm obsessed with depth as it relates to this team. Last season that was a huge problem, like defensive depth. I mean, we were talking about it before we got on about having to rely on Clement Lenglet in a Champions League match. That should never happen, right? And hopefully we're not put in that position this season, but ideally you would have Dani Martinez behind Hanchko, Salinas behind Grimaldo, and then kind of build up Salinas as the season goes along. But assuming he's only 16 million, I think that's something you have to go after as it relates to the striker market. I mean, y'all's guess is as good as mine right now about if it's going to be a loan, if they're going to go out and get somebody. It feels like the Tresoldi rumors have run dry. I know we talked about Igor Jesus last episode about a potential loan option to buy, but I feel like it's going to be kind of one of those last minute random transfers that happens at the end of the on deadline day, where unknown striker gets on a loan with a buy option to Atletico Madrid, and we're like, oh great, Alemany's cooking again. Here we go. So, but yeah.
I mean, I agree with you, Ryan, over there. Like, me and Keeks were discussing this as well when we were on live watch along. Like, I think it's better. Like, like Dani Martinez can be a backup for David Hansko, and then Salinas can be a backup for Grimaldo, which I definitely agree with you, Ryan, over there, because again, I think going forward in the competitions, we need depth, so that should be there. And the fact is, like, we can get Salinas for 15 million as well, which is a decent price, I would say. Like, like, for example, I mean, this is the opportunity we have right now. Like, I don't think if any other club snaps him, and the next time, for me, the left back market is the same as striker market. It's very dry.
Yeah.
Like, there are only a few good left backs left. So again, like, it shouldn't be like like we come after 2-3 years and like we are like, oh damn, like Salinas is now 70-80 million. That shouldn't, I mean, like, because in this market, if Kukurea is going for 60-70 million, like, you should look, if you have like a future prospect you should go for it. So I definitely agree, like, we should go for Salinas and get it done. About the striker thing, again, we don't know if Osimhen Rodri Blanco can still happen. We all can hope so, but I think if Osimhen comes to Atleti, then yeah, God help anyone who faces us, for sure.
Yeah.
It's too late. It's too late. It's too late to know for that.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. You never know.
I can make an educated guess that if we were to get Osimhen, it should have been at the start of August or the end of July. Right? Ain't possible anymore.
You never know. I mean,
That's
we are
maybe next
entering. We entering the Matteo Alemany in 33. The last 10 days or something.
I think the only way it could maybe happen is if it's dire straits with Alvarez for the first half of the season, and we're in like December. He's scored like 2 goals, maybe. He's bitching, moaning up and down, and it's like, well, all right, Barcelona, what can you do? Can you give us 130 at the very least or something like that? And then maybe you get him then. But yeah, I mean, I kind of with Keeks, if you do get him, it's going to be next summer for sure. But going back to your earlier point, Alex, about market opportunities, about Salinas in particular, you've seen this with Atletico Madrid where they miss out on players at a lower value, and then, like you said, 5 or 6 years later, they're 80 million euros. They could have gotten
literally last year.
Yeah.
I said it on this podcast. I said we should go, if we're selling Lino, this is the guy. And he is going for 140 million this summer.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
like things like that. You could have gotten Cucurella for a lot cheaper. You could have gotten Kang-in Lee when he was in Spain before PSG. You could have gotten him a lot cheaper. And, there's outside interest for Salinas right now from the Premier League. Let's say he goes to Chelsea. He pops off there, and all of a sudden, you're looking at an 80 million euro left back that you could have had for 16 million euros. So they're a lot better positioned now to kind of make that risk than they were 5 years ago. Because, ultimately, if he flops, you're out 5-10 million euros instead of, that used to be, game breaking money. But thankfully, they're much better positioned now.
Exactly. But guys, anyway, we move on into the match. So again, the first half was a 0-0, and we were struggling for a goal, and then comes the substitutions. So the first substitution was Marcos Llorente for Jorge Dominguez, which kind of made sense. And then the game changers entered the pitch. Álex Baena. We're going to talk about Álex Baena, obviously. Julián Simeone looked very rusty, by the way, but I think Rodrigo Mendoza got his well-deserved rest. And again, the main guy, I would say the spotlight, we have the spotlight on him. Kang-in Lee came. And you can clearly see the difference in quality. I mean, Carlos Martin, Kang-in Lee, it's like day and night in the same position. It's really, really different. And the game really changed after Kang-in Lee came onto the pitch as well. because again we had now different players, and all of them can come up with something special. But again, we still had that problem of playing through the middle because we didn't really have a focal point up front. But having said that, like, we talked about this, like Kang-in Lee in these games would be very, very useful, where we are struggling for a goal. The teams are, they are sitting behind, they're in a low block, and we need a goal. And Kang-in Lee came up with that very good individual brilliance, you know. I was just telling the keys like iron rope and special, just fake cut inside and colors, proper Robin special from Kang-in Lee, and that was great. I mean, like, great debut from Kang-in Lee. Like, I can't remember like the last time someone made a debut like this. Great debut from Kang-in Lee, and not only like offensively, defensively as well. Kang-in Lee really did really well. Like he he won 3 out of 3 ground duels. I mean, like, that's proper Simeone vibes he had. I was literally like, praising and shouting in the live stream when Kang-in Lee was making those tackles, because I was amazed because, Linomad, again, someone had a corner over there. I think it was Álex Baena. He played it, and then we were on a counter attack, and the first guy to defend that counter was Kang-in Lee. And I was like, wow, I mean, like, I love this commitment from Kang-in Lee. And it was amazing from Kang-in Lee, to the crosses, to the goal, and the chance creation as well. Lukman should have scored that goal because he could have had a goal and assist as well. Perfect debut, nothing to ask for, and I hope it continues. And I am excited to see how he will be when he'll be 100% fit. So we're gonna enjoy this, obviously, and I think like Kang-in Lee obviously like is giving us that trust as well, like which we put in him, giving him this number 7 jersey, and again like he has like he's repaying that trust as well. And also a funny thing happened, by the way, on the bench where Kang-in Lee, Jose Jimenez told Kang-in Lee before coming on, like like, you will score a goal, and he actually did score a goal, and then they celebrated afterwards, which was very good to see as well. One guy's thoughts on Kang-in Lee debut.
It's great. I don't know what to say. We've been hyping him up for a while. He performed. It in terms of like how good it was, you can't really get better than that. I think to a wide extent, we got to see a little bit of what I really do appreciate, and what the main purpose of the summer was, which was the depth. I know obviously, of course, some of these players are the youngsters and whatever, but you come off the bench, Marcus Llorente gave us something, Álex Baena gave us something, Julian gave us something, Kang-in Lee, Julian, etc., right? And there's still a lot more names outside of that was still on the bench that couldn't play. We still haven't seen. I think it's not much to say that he did wrong. I don't think Kang-in Lee did put a foot wrong today. He was fantastic. Him and Baena were great. Baena was a little rusty at first, obviously, because hasn't really had much time for preseason. Llorente as well, Juliano as well, but you saw why it is that they're usually starters for us. And I think it's kind of funny because if the first half was a 4-3-3, the second half felt like, I don't know, like it was some sort of a 4-4-2, but Lukman was on the wing, Juliano was also on the wing. He just didn't have a 9, we were just having a good time, I guess. I don't know what was happening, but Kang-in Lee was where he wanted to be, wherever on that pitch that was. I don't know what that position was, but he was there. Baena, same thing. Both of them were in the pocket. One was a little deeper, which is Kang-in Lee, and one was a little further forward. But both of them were in between the space where the midfielders and the attackers, and that caused a lot of problems for Malaga in the second half. And especially after we got the goal with Kang-in Lee, the momentum shift was insane. It was intense, instantly. Back-to-back chances, and Malaga was stressed. I think we could have gotten 2 or 3 goals. We had with Luna Montrance, we had the Hanko hit the crossbar, we had Lukman 1-on-1. There was a lot of moments, and I hope that this is something that we can build off of, where we have a clear game plan to get that first goal, and after that first goal, we just like ransack a team, and then you can just sub in some of these other players, mellow out the game, kill off the game. I hope that is the blueprint going forward into the season. So yeah.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it, Keeks, on that, and about how Lee is just such a spark plug coming off the bench. You know, the energy was just like that whenever he came on. I think he had a shot that just went wide left of the goal, like right when he got in. So I mean, he was fired up and ready to go. And
Yeah,
you know,
this one where the keeper
yeah,
made a
yeah,
mistake.
yeah, right there. Went just wide. And, you know, he was as advertised. You know, and I know we're all familiar with our good friend Joel Kim, KNT Football on Twitter. Shout out if you're listening. He's been hyping him up ever since he was rumored. And, yeah, just he delivered today. And the way
PJ
he
as
was
well.
tracking-
Again, a shout out to PJ as well.
Yeah. Just the way he was tracking back reminded me of another former number 7 with Atletico. I'm not going to name names or compare yet, but he seems to fit the mold perfectly of what Simeone kind of looks for in a player in his position. And
Unlike another 7 that we had,
yeah, right.
did not like to track back. Did not like to track back at all.
Yeah, but as far as the other substitutions goes, I couldn't tell if Simeone was more or less playing like a right wing back or if he was kind of a right mid. You know, at times it felt like we were playing a 4-6 formation rather than a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1, something like that. But I think you've kind of seen it during preseason where they're trying to make Simeone into a wing back, and it's not really working that well, in my opinion. It's good to see Llorente, kind of the same thing, like you said, Keeks, about Baena with rust. I mean, even though he didn't play much towards the end of the World Cup, he was too busy drinking with Ferran Torres, so he's got to kind of sweat out some of the alcohol a little bit. But I kind of liked Yeoman's minutes too. I thought he played well in limited minutes. I don't know why he didn't start from the jump, but was impressed.
True. But again, guys, I was just talking back to Kang-in Lee thing. Like the 3 shots which I can show you guys over here. So first one, again, like Ryan said, like it was very close. The second one, almost similar in the position where he scored, a little further back. And I think it got blocked, I guess. But you guys could see the intention. Like, he was trying. And the last one, like, obviously, like, he nailed it. And, yeah, I agree with you guys. Like, I think Simeone, he looked very rusty to me in this match for sure. But Llorente was still decent, I would say. A bit rusty, but still decent. But I really want to talk about Álex Baena right now. And, again, like, our 2 goal scorers, Kang-in Lee and Álex Baena, they have played together when they were young. They played together as well. So that's one thing for you guys. But Álex Baena today, and he also said this in the post-match interview as well. Like, the World Cup has given him that confidence, and like he looks much more confident. And he said, like, last season I was a bit lost, but like I'm very confident this season. And you could see it in Baena actually. And also, like, we've been talking about this, like, this is the season where I think Baena would have a very good season. We saw a lot of praise about Baena coming to the season as well, and especially in the World Cup as well, because people were saying, like, this is the season we will see Álex Baena at his best, and it has just started. Like, like, what a great free kick. And again, like, he was great at set pieces in the World Cup. He's great at set pieces right now as well. The corners he was taking after Koke, you could see the quality in corners as well. One of them almost resulted in a goal as well, with Hansko hitting the crossbar, which for me Dani Martinez should have scored in the rebound as well, but it's okay, it's totally fine.
I a little underrated part of it though. We do have probably one of the better set piece threats. All of a sudden, we have one of the best set piece threats in terms of direct set pieces. We have 3 or 4 players who can score goals directly, and then from indirect set pieces you have Grimaldo and Baena, who are, I don't think they're a whole lot better in terms of delivery in Spain. I think if you want to look better than that, it's just Arsenal. That's it. Like, it is what it is. They perfected it for that. But that, in terms of having Hanko, having Romero, who's also a bigger problem, Will just scored from a set piece last season for us, even though he did it more often with Almeria and Levante. So this is all of a sudden we have a new method of attack that we might probably take advantage of, which we'll probably have to give some credit for Gavi. But as Alex was saying, this is his time. This is his position. We've talked about it in more detail in other videos, so go and check through our other videos as well. But yeah.
Right, but yeah, I mean, like set pieces is definitely one to watch out for Atleti. I mean, like Grimaldo, Baena, Kang-in Lee, Julian Álvarez. If he's in his right mindset, I agree with you, Keith. I think like we have one of the best in La Liga for sure. In Europe, I would say yeah, like you said, Arsenal is obviously over there as well. But yeah, we have very good set piece takers, and we should take the most out of it. And also, guys, I think it's time we should also start an agenda. With Kang-in Lee better than Lamine Yamal, who's up for it?
Let's not.
We'll
I've
get the
had
hashtag
enough.
going.
I've had enough time with Barca fans. They
Yeah.
tend to swarm whenever I say something they don't like. So I'll pass.
You should see my tweets. It's filled with hate comments. But anyway, Ryan, your thoughts on Álex Baena today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, he was amazing off the bench. Similar to Lee, he was such an energy boost and a real introduction of quality onto the pitch that was missing leading up into that point. And you kind of alluded to it earlier, but his confidence was shot towards the end of last season. He was not playing full matches. He was, clearly down and out. And the role of, what he was promised when he got here was kind of taken over by Antoine Griezmann's, spectacular performances that no one was really expecting at his age. So I think now that Griezmann's unfortunately moved on, but fortunate for me as a big Griezmann fan, us as a big Griezmann fan, but fortunate for Baena is he can kind of slide into that role and, parlaying that with a very, very solid World Cup performance and winning the World Cup and being a huge part of that team is going to be so huge for his confidence this season. I mean, you saw it today, like that, just trying that free kick, like you have to have some degree of confidence to even attempt that. And, even outside of that, I thought he played with a lot of confidence. He played smooth. He played loose. I thought he was a breath of fresh air at times.
That's true. Guys, next one, the next debutant we had was Morten Hulmand. And I would say, look, guys, he only had like 12 minutes to play, as you guys can see over here. But I would say he did his job, what he came for. He had a very crucial tackle in our box when Malaga was, trying to attack. And that was a good tackle. What I saw in 12 minutes, I saw something good. Breaking the passes, using his physicality pretty well as well. So I saw good from Hulman as well. And again, in the first half, I think I was telling Keeks, there are a lot of gaps in the middle of the park, which we have to look out for. And Keeks was saying we need a defensive midfielder, to cover those things. So I think that's something where Morten Hulman will definitely help us at for sure. And what I saw from Hulman was definitely positive, even it was just 15 minutes with the added time, obviously. But it was good. I like the 15 minutes from Hulman as well. What do you guys think?
This is my expert analysis. Pretty good.
I'll one up St. Keeks. I'll give him 2 thumbs up in limited minutes. Like I said earlier, I was kind of surprised that he didn't start this match. And I kind of thought it would maybe be like a Koke or a Barrios or a Yeoman, kind of dual double pivot. But, I think it ended up working out for the best anyway. But, I think it's slowly integrating him into the system and into the team. And he showed various times during the preseason that he's very capable of doing so. So, again, wasn't called upon him much. I think he had, towards the end of the game, a pretty good stop. Couldn't remember if he got beat or not, but again, he was brought on, like you said, did what he was asked, got the job done, didn't give up any goals, looked good. Good hair all around. Nice one.
Yeah, no, it didn't get dribble pass, like it was 0 times. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much our review of this match, and hopefully it can continue because again, next match is not easy. We play Villarreal. That'll be again we'll have a test right off. You know, like Barca, Real Madrid, they won't even play their first match. We'll already have our second match, and like we'll have one of the test of the season against Villarreal for sure. And having said that, guys, you know, before we end the show, guys, it's time for ratings. So let's just be quick about it. Oblak, quick.
Not this part of the episode again. Remark was great. 7, 8. I didn't put a foot wrong. Except I actually no, he did. He passed one time
Yeah.
like a bunch of players, and I was just like, why did you do that? But that doesn't really mean anything. He was great the entire game.
Yeah.
8?
7.
8 for 10?
7.
7, 8 for 10? Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
7.5.
7.5. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Carlos Martin. I mean, 5.
6.
5, I would say.
Yeah.
5. You know, 5. Okay, fair enough.
Jorge Dominguez. You know, like he made his debut. It's okay, he got a yellow card for
7.
sure, but like he was good. I'll
Yeah.
give him 7. I'll give him 7. There you go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Lenormand. I would give him 7 as
6.
well. I'll give him 7 as well.
I'll give him a 7 because he got the clean sheet, but I did not feel safe, buddy.
Yeah.
The
A
one
very
time I
anxious
felt
7.
yeah, I felt safe when he played against Barca, but
David Hansko, that's 9.5.
9.
9.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
Amazing game.
9.5. 9.5. For me, 10 is for the man of the match, so that's why
Yeah, true,
9.5. 9.5. Dani Martinez, I would say 9 for sure.
So high?
Yeah, that was.
I was gonna say like 7.5 even. Yeah,
I'll
what?
go 8.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I'll
he
I'll
was
go
good.
9.
Don't get me wrong, he was good, but it's
I'll
like
go 9.
defensively you could get past him. There wasn't. Kangin literally was an unstoppable wall. You know what I mean?
Fair
I
enough,
couldn't
but
remember
okay,
if you said this
I'll go
earlier,
9.
Alex, but I think he had the most dribbles Danny Martinez did on the team.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, crazy.
did.
That's a thing. I wrote
Yeah,
on him
actually, yeah,
earlier,
of
but
course.
he's he has the passing, but he is by all means a ball carrier.
Yeah.
Great stuff. But for me, it's a 9. I really like what I saw from Dani Martinez. Rodrigo Mendoza, I would say 8.
7.5. I need you more off the ball.
Yeah, 7 to 7.
I need you more off the ball. Great game, but I need you more off the ball.
Okay. Paulo Barrios, I would say another 9.
9.
9. Yeah,
Next-
9,
next-
9.5.
Yeah.
Next
Koke, 7. Koke, I would say Koke off the ball, not good. On the ball, very good. 7.
That's the duality of it, I think.
7 is fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arna Ortiz, 8.
So high?
I really
You know what?
liked
I'm
it.
not doubting it. I know
I
it is
re-
8.
I really
Let's move
liked
on.
I really liked it. 8.
I
I'm just
did.
going
I
with,
think that back heel
yeah,
was
fair.
fantastic. I
Man,
loved it.
yeah. Oh, God, if he would have converted that. But,
Yeah. Lukman, I think like
Not a
if,
great first half.
No,
Much
exactly.
better second half, but he's not on it. I'd say 6.5.
6. Yeah.
I won't be that harsh, but yeah, 6.5 I would say. But it's okay. Like it's just the first game, he can turn it around,
Yeah.
and you know
And that's
Uh,
not his position ultimately. So
that's
you know,
true.
An
That's true.
undeserved 6, but a 6 nonetheless.
That's true.
Yes.
Marcus Llorente, I mean, like you know, like pretty
Second
much.
half
Yeah,
didn't have too much to do, to be honest.
yeah, he lost. He got dispossessed at a very wrong place. That's not good. I would say 6.5.
Yeah, 6.
I'll give it a 6.
Álex Baena, that's literally an 8.5 for me. Perfect free
Yep.
kick.
Yep.
Juliano Simeone, I think that's I
Same
would-
thing with Llorente for
Yeah.
me. 6.
Yeah.
not
6.
really. I'll give him a 5.
Hated.
How I'm not hitting Juliano Simeone. He was just rusty.
Look, I had to power through this. I had to go just now.
Oh, okay. Kang-in Lee, for me that's a 10. That's
10.
man of the match.
Yeah. Yep.
Great performance off the bench. Cannot get
10 out of
better.
10.
Yeah, game changer. Hulmand, I mean, it's 12 minutes. I can't really rate him.
Yeah. And
I know,
Edmund.
but but it's like 12 minutes.
There you guys. So yeah, that was the review of the match against Malaga, and again, we'll see you guys for the preview of the Villarreal game, which we'll do, I guess, Friday will be the perfect time to do that preview. And then obviously we'll do the live watch along as well for the Villarreal game. Ryan, you would be there?
Yep.
There you
I
go.
probably would be. I'm gonna be
So,
at the beach, buddy.
okay. So it's Ryan and me. Great.
Yeah,
And
I'll
guys,
miss you,
like, if
Keeks.
unless there's like some new news, we'll discuss about that as well. But I think like if there will be, we'll cover that in the preview episode only, which would be against Villarreal. And we're back at it, guys. It's 4:40 in the morning. It's almost 5 in the morning for me. I mean, like I can expect like what Korean fans are gonna like go through now, like with Kang-in Lee at Atleti, because they are even ahead of me. They're probably like going to work or something right now, and they have to like deal with the late kickoffs and stuff. So massive respect to you guys and really appreciate it. So yeah, a little Korean bow down for you guys. But thanks so much, guys, for watching us. For watching this episode so far, and just like and subscribe as usual. And Ryan is a regular as of now. You guys can see I don't really have to introduce him again and again.
Officially added Atleti fanatics to my bio, like you said, Alex. So part of the family now.
There you go. There you go. So again, guys, we'll see you guys soon. Until then, Atleti. Ciao, ciao.
Atleti.